we'll see. We'll see what this is.
The War of the Ancient Dragons began thousands of years ago, and the Erdtree capital came under siege, led by a gargantuan dragon named Gurranq. The dragons wielded heavenly bolts of red lightning, and so the knights of the Erdtree learned to fortify themselves against it, and stayed on the defensive.
I like the art.
Until Godwyn the Golden delivered the decisive blow. He stood before another legendary dragon known as Dread Fortisax and defeated him.
I don't know the lore very well, though.
Death,
is this nameless king?
Mercy. He offered friendship, and it was with this act that the ancient dragons and the Golden Order truly became one.
This is cool.
Years later, a dire plot was put into action.
Became one with the dragon.
A plan to kill Godwyn the Golden. So a fragment of the Rune of Death was stolen from the black blade that was designed to contain it. This fragment was then inscribed onto a set of black knives, which the black knife assassins would wield, and with cloaks of silver that fooled the eye, they snuck into the capital and delivered the first destined death in a millennia.
Then I guess I'm gonna have to watch all of the other ones, because I'm so bad at keeping up with the Elden Ring, like, or not Elden Ring, like all the Souls lore, because it's like pieces. I can never really follow it, because it's not kind of spelled out for me, and I can't, like, so maybe I should watch all the videos as well. But this one is really cool, and I found it, and I thought it would be cool if we watched it together. The art is really cool too, I really like it. I remember those shithead ninjas in Elden Ring.
Godwyn should have died a clean, true death, but he did not. Instead, as the mark of death was being carved into his flesh, it was at that very moment also being carved into another of his kin.
Oh, there's a game capture.
Ranni.
Okay.
Ranni got her wish and perished in flesh alone, which freed her soul. But Godwyn died in spirit alone, and so his body suffered an unimaginable fate. His living corpse would spread a peculiar brand of undeath through the lands between via Deathroot, and wherever there is Deathroot, the hunters of the dead are sure to follow.
There's no mistake, is there? Death has left its mark once again.
That's
I'm
cool.
sorry, I cannot give you your proper rights, but at least you did not join those who live in death. Your soul will return to the Erdtree in time. Ah, a tarnished, are you? I'm known as D. I hunt down those who live in death and weed their death root. Heed my warning. The village here has been touched by death, and worse yet, it is home to a mariner. If you value your life, then go no further.
The dead have long been left to wander, and what they need is true leadership. The mariners can call to those who live in death and offer them some semblance of guidance, but they make poor leaders.
I remember these things in the game.
Fighters. So it is that the dead continue to live without purpose.
Well, well. Another fool who won't listen to reason, eh? But with a prowess for weeding Deathroot.
There's a trumpet man chilling in his boat.
The mark of the centipede here in the village. An ill-omened symbol that should not be. Someone or something threatens the sanctity of the Golden Order and must be eradicated.
Kills him. Easy.
D claims to have seen the mark of the centipede in this village, and it seems he's talking about the Deathroot here, which is at the very heart of those who live in death. This Deathroot carries
those
the
are the
curse of the
Deathroots?
centipedal half-wheel wound, which raises the dead from their graves, ordering their bodies to life, without a soul, without guidance, and without grace.
How would you like to earn the strength of beasts? If you're inclined to hunt more of those who live in death and weed their death root, then I'll introduce you to Gurranq. I have a matter of my own to attend to, and the beast himself wishes for someone to take my place. What say you? Very well. Show me your map.
Oh, the dragons!
Location for you. It will lead you to Gurranq, the beast clergyman.
They're so sick.
The bestial sanctum lies past Farum Great Bridge, deep within the Caelid wilds, past the vulgar militiamen, who are short, brutal mercenaries, and the Blackblade kindred, who are a patchwork of champions put back together with corpse wax. They're all here in defense of Gurranq. Or should I say, Malikath. Here.
I think it's like incredible. How do you find all this lore? I like when I play, I completely miss, when I play the games, I completely miss everything. Is it just because I don't read the items? Is that it? Like, to put together like a 47-minute video? And they're able to piece it together? Because you don't find them in order either, you know? Dirt period items? Yeah. I find it hard to follow. But these videos are cool.
Is Marika's loyal shadow that once kept the rune of death bound within his black blade. That is, until a piece of that death was stolen. Afterwards, he buried the black blade deep within his very self, so that no one could steal it, ever again.
I smell it. Death. Feed it me.
Suffused with the rune of death, Malikath now hungers for Deathroot, desperate to gather back what he strongly feels are the missing parts of himself.
Tarnished. Bring more death. I shall grant thee eye and claw. Feed me more.
Feed him.
But there was a time before the rune of death was bound, and so there were other cultures of death, ways that were even practiced outside the lands between, where the Tarnished lived in exile.
Greetings, great champion called by grace. I am Fia. Circumstances have compelled my stay at the Round Table Hold. Great champion,
I hugged her a
would
lot.
you allow me to hold you? But briefly. Ah, my thanks. You are very warm. I was known as a deathbed companion, where I come from. After I received the warmth and lively vigor from a number of champions, I lay with the remains of an exalted noble. To grant him another chance at life, to do so is the purpose of my being. But before I could bear the noble into new life,
I did play half the game with a debuff because I had no idea what that was. I just hugged her.
I was awakened by the guidance of grace and chased from my birthplace.
Originally, the Deathbed Companions existed to provide a simple comfort to those who were dying. But at some point, it seems, it was discovered that a Deathbed Companion could use the vitality of others to birth dead remains into new life. And so the Deathbed Companions became a tool, a path to rebirth for the privileged, who told the Deathbed Companions who to lie with and when, so that one exalted being might get a second chance at life.
Despite all that, I still wish to be a deathbed companion. So please, let me hold you like this, as often as it takes.
But it's not all about you. After all, you are not the only Tarnished that Fia lays with, and who knows what secrets are shared in her bedchamber.
I'm still so confused over the lore. So we are tarnished.
Nice to meet you. The pleasure's mine. Roger is the name. I'm looking for a little something here in the castle. When I'm not hot-footing it from the troops, that is. But enough about me. What are you doing here in Stormvale Castle? This place is bristling with tarnished hunters, you know. They sacrifice our kind for grafting. Not exactly a place I'd stroll into without a purpose in mind.
Many external threats have laid waste to Stormvale over the years, and now the castle is marred by mottled thorns that have worked their way through the tortured stone. The soldiers mutter that it's the curse of grafting that causes such an affliction, but some talk of its root being something much more sinister, hidden deep below the castle. That is why Roger is here, on a mission of his own. And as you square up against Godric, he is searching for the source of the mottled thorns. And he finds it. For the world has grown
That's so
crooked,
cool.
and if one intends to put it to rights, then they'd best understand what happened to make it that way, no matter the cost.
Okay, I don't remember that happening to us.
The world is slowly being taken over by the death root that is Godwyn. For when Godwyn died, his body was buried in the deep root depths, in what seems like an esteemed position directly below the Erd Tree. This would have been done in accordance with the practice of Erd Tree burial, a process which replaced destined death. For under Marika's Golden Order, death exists, but it is not the end, and the roots of the Erd Tree should call to all of the dead in time, reabsorbing them into the great tree where they may one day be reborn. Godwyn, being a great hero, likely received the burial rites that placed him as close to the Erd Tree as possible, but this backfired horrifically, for the roots would instead take up Godwyn's cursed essence, like a tree absorbs water, and spread the mark of the centipede throughout the lands between via Deathroot.
I don't remember the
those
root
who
part.
live in death were born, and the hunters of the dead would follow.
I serve the Golden Order, that I might put this crooked land to rights, following only the guidance of the Great Elden Ring. Those who live in death fall outside the principles of the Golden Order. Their mere existence sullies the guidance of gold, tainting its truth. And so it is the vermin must be exterminated. Down to the very last.
Hey, Valk. I feel like I completely missed the part with Godwyn and the tree, Erd Tree, in the game, in the playthrough. I did. Right?
The hunters of the dead are fanatics who are glad to have an absolute evil to contend with. But does such an evil even exist in the fundamentals of order?
I just got a power bombed over and over.
Named Roger. You know, the piteous fellow hiding away on the balcony. He was a formidable spellblade in times past. Don't let his easy air deceive you. He was wise beyond his years, stout of heart and clear of mind.
Ah, so you've met Dee. Dee is an old friend. We found ourselves journeying together for a time, bound by our exploration of death. But our paths have since diverged, never again to cross. Though that's hardly an uncommon fate for two friends.
No more, though. You see him now, ravaged by thorns, muttering and rambling, like he's half dead already.
Couldn't change a thing.
I can't stomach to watch. Take well the lesson, friend. That's how you end up when seduced by those who live in death. When grace is sullied, it rots people from the inside.
I remember this fight. This fight took days. No, not days, hours, I think.
This is what the Golden Order has been reduced to. Godric, the runt of the litter, dependent on the strength of tarnished champions. But Fia's favor is bestowed upon her consorts. It allows them to ignore any aches or pains, for in death there is only peace. For in death there can be no sensation.
Ah, you defeated Godric and claimed yourself a great rune.
Right, because it was that easy for us, right,
Looks like we
guys?
both got what we wanted out of Stormvale, didn't we? Well done, friend. Always good to see you safe. So, the misshapen corpse under Stormvale. That is a sacred relic of the Black Knives plot, as that famed night of assassination is known.
These shitheads were the
Happened
worst.
during the golden age of the Erd Tree, long before the shattering of the Elden Ring. Someone stole a fragment of the Rune of Death from Malikath, the Black Blade, and on a bitter night, murdered Godwyn the Golden. That was the first recorded death of a demigod in all history, and it became the catalyst. Soon, the Elden Ring was smashed, and thus sprang forth the war known as the Shattering. I once wished to become a scholar, you see. I've spent many an hour scouring the archives for knowledge of that fateful plot. And that thing is to blame for the shape I'm in now. I urge the utmost caution. Don't disturb the corpse more than necessary.
I didn't run straight to the castle. I didn't know I was underleveled. I don't remember who the guy with the hat is, though. I remember the guy with the two heads, but the guy with the hat, I don't recall seeing him in the game.
My dear, have you ever heard of Black Knife Prince? Dear Roger
Him.
likes to talk of them when abed. And the ancient plot, in which the first of the demigods was slain. The black knives wielded by the assassins who committed the act, along with the impressions they made, somehow hide the truth of the conspiracy.
Oh, so I
These
missed him.
grand
Okay.
affairs are hardly my forte. But dear Roger began to weep as he spoke.
Rocher
In
is his
truth,
name?
I've heard tell from someone else about the Black Knife Prince that fascinate dear Roger so, but it wouldn't be right to give this to him, stuck as he is in the Round Table Hall. Perhaps you could make use of it?
With a crudely drawn map in hand, we can find a living black knife, one of many who lurk purposeless in the dark places of the
Oh, I
lands
remember
between.
this fight.
And D is here to help you.
I didn't get D, though. Did I? I love the clap.
Hello. You've been busy weeding Deathroot, I take it. I thank you, as your brother in arms.
The Black Knives were, after all, instrumental in undoing D's beloved order. So here,
Yeah, I got the
he
dagger.
takes his revenge, and you walk away with an
I guess he
imprint
was the summon
of a black
here that I
knife.
didn't use.
This is a black knife print. I can scarcely believe you managed to get your hands on this.
Yeah, I didn't do anything with this
Please.
guy.
I beg of you, lend me the knife print for a time.
Rocher.
I'd love nothing more than to tease out its secrets. Half my body has been suffused with death. I'm certain it will help me see. Though only a fragment, a very specific ritual had to be performed to impart the power of the Rune of Death. Traces of the one who performed the rite are sure to remain in the imprint. Truly, you have my thanks. Time can move rather slowly, stuck here, you know. A little conversation goes a long way.
So So Roger continues his investigation, and you continue to seek out Deathroot, waiting for the truth of things to be revealed.
The pigeon.
You are basically put to good use by everyone around you.
I am pleased to see you again. Would you like me to hold you? Now, come closer. You are so very warm. I heard that you lent a hand to dear Roger. He seemed positively elated. He must be possessed of great mental fortitude. It anchors his will and sustains him, despite his grievous wounds. You truly are a champion to dear Roger, and myself too. My dear, might I ask something of you? Could you please find the owner of this dagger and return it to them? A certain person gave it to me.
I remember this.
It's a very precious thing. It must have a special place in the owner's heart. So I would like for the original owner to have it back, if you wouldn't mind.
This weathered dagger was once a special weapon of gold and silver intertwined, except now it has been worn down and marred by a black gash. It's natural to think that this weapon belongs to Dee, but then why didn't Fia give it back to him herself?
Well, what have we here?
Yeah, why didn't she give it back to him
Your hand
herself?
on that dagger.
He did.
Well, that hardly matters. I know very well whose dagger it is. Why don't I return it to them for you? Good work bringing this to me.
It's almost as if they're playing a game with the dagger, arguing over whose heart it truly deserves to be buried within.
Think there's intent as why he was covering its eyes?
And it's a game that Dee ends up losing. For Fia developed a sorcery to oppose the Round Table hold, a mist of deathblight that is only effective against the tarnished, especially if they confront you in a small, enclosed room.
Oh, yeah, and he died. I remember. But why?
Finally, it is returned to its rightful place. The stolen hallowbrand of the exalted noble. And now, I must bid you goodbye as well, though I ask you deliver this message to the Round Table hold. I am Fia, Deathbed companion, hark Round Table. Disturb not the death of Godwyn, the exalted. We who humbly live in death, live in waiting, to one day welcome our Lord. What right does anyone have to object? Our Lord will rise, the Lord of the many and the meek.
All this time, Fia was getting closer to recovering the hallowbrand that Dee stole from Godwyn. For this hallowbrand is the key. It's the curse mark that the Black Knives carved to split death in half, which started
cool.
all of this in the first place, and Fia has a use for it, while Dee is dead.
You know, I guess I let him be killed too, because he died in my playthrough as well. The Elden Beast, the last boss, yeah, I didn't like him either. I thought it was really underwhelming. I think the boss right before was really sick, but the last one, no, I didn't like it at all. And I got really tilted chasing it. I got so mad. I hate chasing bosses.
But Dee is also alive, for Devon and Darian are the inseparable twins. They are of 2 bodies and 2 minds, but 1 single soul.
Oh.
Supposedly, this made them reviled by many, but they found solace within the Golden Order, which accepted their duality of the self. They even had armaments forged to represent their state of being.
Well, makes sense
An
now.
inseparable sword and a twinned suit of armor. And these items long to find their way back to the other Dee, who yet lives. Devon slumbers in the Eternal City, tormented by Deathblight.
Did I miss him too?
And it's here that he is said to have stood before the Prince of Death, suggesting he was the one who carved the curse mark from Godwin's flesh. Perhaps he even used a weathered dagger to carve it out, and perhaps this dagger was then mockingly gifted to a rotten witch, setting into motion the events that would lead to his brother Darian's death.
I guess I missed his brother. The metal music. This is so cool. If this were me, I'd be dead now.
Bananas are a joke, making your hunt for the spreading deathroot an easy one. It shows up in Limgrave, in Liurnia, even in the mountaintops of the giants, and it is most common wherever there is stagnant water, which is a medium that represents corruption and defilement, and the deathroot infects all manner of creatures who meet their end sporting these distorted pustules of Godwin's own visage. Deathroot even starts to get the better of Marika's own shadow. After all, in the end, what we're feeding him is now much more than just the missing fragments of the Rune of Death. Something has changed.
Those frogs.
Strange. There's something else. I must consume more. Put it away. I won't forget again.
We used that gear, didn't we, for a time?
Appetite. My sin. I must have more. I must consume more. It is all consumed. Still, I am not sated. Not nearly sated.
No fight was easy for me.
Is this what it is to sin? Will things never be the same again? Tarnished. My thanks for thy long labor. But I have done all I can in this land. Henceforth, mine appetite shall be my sole companion. Farewell.
Hello. I was hoping to see you. My examination is complete. Here's the knife print back, with my thanks. Now I have a fairly good idea who performed the rite upon the blade. The person who orchestrated the night
Oh,
of the
cool.
Black
Look at the skeleton on the chair. I never noticed that.
Lunar Princess Ranni, one of the children born to King Consort Radagon and his first wife, Rennala, demigod and sister to General Radahn.
He was a
Praetor
cool fight.
Rankard. Hers was the name I discovered in the imprint. If Ranni truly is the one who plotted that fateful night, then she should bear the curse mark of destined death somewhere upon her flesh. I would like you to procure it for me. And then all will be laid bare. I will have the answers I have sought for so long. Do you know of those who live in death? These souls have committed no offense. They have every right to life, only they happen to touch upon a flaw in the order. By Dee's account, these defiled fiends must
The
be
Ranni
expunged.
ending is the true ending?
But truth be told, I seek the curse mark to save them.
If we're looking for someone to blame in all of this mess, then where do we land? Does the guilt lie with those who live in death, who touched Deathroot? Or with Godwyn, who spawned it? Or should we blame Ranni, who thought up the plot in the first place? Personally, I think any fault goes even further back, to Marika, who, in her hubris, thought that she could free the world from death.
Thank you, Rory, for the raid. Thank you so much. How was your stream? What were you streaming? Thank you, Matt. I got the bad ending, didn't I? Of course. How was your stream? I think I got the bad ending. I don't remember. I feel like I have to play Elden Ring again. I feel like I missed so much. The metal ending? I got the metal ending. Yeah, you baited me into the bad ending. Okay, okay. Yes, this is the bad ending. RE4 remake. Yeah, we'll be doing that after God of War. I always end up going into the bad ending. It's just, I can't help it. I don't know why. Always the cool stuff leads me to the bad ending. Following you guys.
Death and life should never have been separated, a fact that is more clear now than ever.
Maybe I should tell you. Lately, I feel I'm on the precipice of falling into a deep, fathomless slumber.
Yeah, I can't believe I
have an inkling
skipped this
it could
guy.
spell trouble for you somehow. So I just wanted to get the apology out of the way beforehand, since you're so scary and all. Well, this is unfortunate.
Does he have the mark too?
Godwyn. Full circle.
Oh.
Forms.
He dies?
So, whoever can obtain 2 halves of the curse mark can form a rune. With his dying breath, Roger hints that Fia might be able to use this.
Wait, okay, so you get 2 halves of the mark, the curse, right? And it completes and it makes a rune, but this rune kills you? I'm confused. So he got 2 halves, right? Or was he dying and he was just telling us that? I got confused there. That bit is where I'm a little thrown off. You guys know the lore. Yeah, I don't know. Helpful. Let's continue.
And a letter.
It's a long
scrawled
video.
by Roger on his deathbed tells us
We're
one
not gonna
last
start
bit.
over.
It's that Dee had a twin brother, and that the other Dee might be found in an aqueduct beside the eternal city of Nokron. Roger implores us to put his friend to rest and reunite the twins,
Thank you.
which we do by returning Dee's armor.
So he's a twin, we bring him back his armor.
Roger goes on to reveal that Devon stood before Godwyn, not far beyond this spot.
Oh, these
And
two.
indeed, Devon and the dagger were death-blighted. So we travel a little farther, upwards to a nameless city that's overtaken by roots. and Godwin himself.
Oh, Lord Godwin. Oh, my poor sweet lordling should have died a true death. A scion of the Golden Bough, sentenced to live in death. How could such a thing come to be?
Here, fear finally lies with Godwin, the Prince of Death, defending his being with the sapped strength of every hero who lay with her. Including, of course, the famed spellblade Ranni.
How does he have all these cool moves? I didn't get cool moves like this.
Ah, there you are. I knew you would come. What is it you intend? To deny us and our ways, like the dogmatic brutes of the Golden Order? You are an odd one. I am the guardian of those who live in death. They call me a foul and rotten witch. Yet you still wish to be held by me? This is the other Hallowbrand. How did you... Oh, my utmost thanks. With this, Godwin can
he
take his
got the
rightful place
other.
as first of the
Okay.
dead.
I think I get it now.
Claim a second, illustrious life. You are our true champion. And though I can't be of any use to you, can I hold you tight? If only for a moment. I will soon lay with Godwin, and it will surely stir within me the new life of the Golden Prince, and first dead of the demigods, as the rune of those who live in death. Please, do one thing for me. Brandish this child, my rune, and take for yourself the throne. Stay the persecution of those who live in death by becoming our Elden Lord. This is goodbye, my dear, but I am satisfied. I choose to lie with Godwin of my own will, not the remains of one chosen for me, and I will bear a child who will inherit your warmth too. What greater blessing could there be
Was this an ending?
but to be born a deathbed companion?
Now, Fia can fulfill her purpose and initiate a rebirth, a gestated rune that tells the broken story of those who live in death. So, Fia lies with Godwin, and she dreams. But it's within this dream that we realize that there is something lurking inside the Prince of Death, a being who, even after all this time, never once stopped fighting against the death in their companion. They are the last thing that stands between Godwin and his new life, and here they refuse to let go, for Godwin was a friend, and they were the great ancient dragon, Dread Fortisax.
I remember this fight. I never used that summon. Yeah, the dragon's look is super sick. This is pretty epic. He used a rune on him, huh?
Finally, you can bring the entire broken curse mark itself into order. The mending rune of the Death Prince, which enables his bastardization of life to become an official part of Death's story. But first, you have to burn down the Erd Tree and walk alongside Flame to meet the road of destined death, which leads to Faram Azula, a broken city floating outside of time.
Alright, this city was cool. I fell a lot though.
And against all logic, Deathroot now grows here too. Turns out, nowhere is safe from its touch, even in Faram Azula, where the true rune of death is still protected by none other than Malikath, who masqueraded as Gurranq, so that you might feed him Deathroot and help him to achieve the one and only task that Marika saw fit to entrust him with.
Oh, this fight was really good. I remember this one, and he was a bitch.
Witless tarnished. Why cover destined death? 'Tis no matter. I hereby vow that destined death shall not be stolen again. Cower before Malikath, Marika's black blade.
Why are we skeleton now? Isn't it because the... What's her face? The Deathbed lady sucked our soul? I'm so bad at this lore. I'm trying though, I'm trying. I have to watch this like 100 times. I think so. No, you say. It's confusing, okay? It's hard to keep up. I'm trying. Was it the rune? This fight was really nice though.
Why wouldst thou gull me? Why shatter?
God, I'm sorry. I feel embarrassed. That was my answer.
Take a good long look. See the wrath of the Golden Order, the Order's justice writ in blood. This is what's become of your precious witch.
This is the twin,
Look
right?
at this rotten whore. No more children can be got from this useless flesh. This is a proper death, O Prince. Behold, your mother is dead. This is revenge, you witch. And you ghoul. This is the wrath of D.
Yeah, it is a twin. D.
Hello. The rotten witch is dead. The Golden Order unsullied. Now I can look my brother Darian in the eye. Honeyed rays of gold, deliver my spirit. Darian, honeyed rays of gold. Ah. Don't you dare. Unless you want to die like a dog. Very well. Die. 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 Then you are a blight. A defiler of the Golden Order and murderer of my brother. I'll grind your corpse into the...
Oh, he kills him. Does he?
Forgive me. Dari.
Same fate as his brother? To avenge her?
As a deathbed companion, Fia had no choice but to lie with others, until the guidance of grace led her back to the lands between, where she used her chambers in the Round Table Hold to great effect, biding her time, listening to the secrets told to her in private, until she could use the strength of champions to speak for others, for the downtrodden, who had no champion.
That's a cool blade. Did we ever loot
Soon
that?
They will.
This was a nice fight too. I think this was one of my favorite fights. That's why the last boss was so underwhelming, because this one was a cool fight.
Please, do one thing for me. Brandish this child, my rune, and take for yourself the throne. Stay the persecution of those who live in death by becoming our Elden Lord.
Fia has finally lain with the remains of one that she chose, so that she might gestate a new beginning, called the Mending Rune of those who live in death, a gift to the undead, who were born at the very end of an age, Duskborn, before the sun rises once more, in a land where they no longer have to hide.
Duskborn. Okay.
The fallen leaves tell a story of how a tarnished became Elden Lord. In our home, across the fog, the lands between, our seed will look back upon us and recall the age of the Duskborn.
Age of the Duskborn. Is that it? I don't know.
All right.
Yeah,
Hope
Lich
you all
King-
enjoyed the video.
Yeah.
We've now covered 3 of Elden Ring's endings through Prepare to Cry.
Wait, which ending was this then? That was not my ending. Yeah. This is only one of the endings. I thought this was all of the lore in the game. I don't know. I have to watch this video like 4 more times by myself to like understand. I get so lost in Souls lore. There's so much. It's like when I read one of those books, I have so much information and I have to read like the page like 6, 7 times for stuff to start like, okay, I get it now. I get this is connected to this is connected to that. We can watch them another time. They're long. We'll play God of War now. But yeah. But I'll have to watch this again by myself off stream because it is confusing. What I think the video is really cool. I really like it. Again, like the lore is confusing for me, so I have to rewatch it because I don't it takes a bit, especially because when I played the game, I don't read the items. I don't read lore unless it's like put in my face. And I just keep going with the game. And then it's just like, you know, kill bosses. So I have to actually learn this lore. My ending was Lord of the Frenzied Flame. Okay, yeah, because I didn't see like the hand that we touched. So we'll have to do that one. Maybe tomorrow or something we can watch that one for fun. But yeah, I really like the video. I like the art. I like the way he like I thought it's really creative how he does it. I don't know. I like everything. Like there's the art and then there's, you know, the in-game characters and everything and like the scenes. It's really cool. Yeah, it's not something that's like half-assed or anything. It's just really good quality. I really, really like it. There's 6 endings. You can do 3 of them from the same game, loading a save point for the last boss. So I'm guessing you need to play this game 6 different times, I'm assuming, to get all the characters and stuff. Imagine liking